Hello, it's Jim Hutchins for the Jerusalem Connection Truth Report for today, October 26th, 2016. The foundational passage in the Scriptures for our understanding of the name of our God is in Exodus chapter 3. And it comes as a result of the interaction between God and Moses when Moses meets God at the burning bush. And Moses is commissioned by God to go to Egypt and lead his people, the Israelites, out of the slavery that they have known over 400 years in Egypt. As a part of that conversation, let me just read this. Exodus chapter 3, verse 13. Moses said to God, "Suppose I go to the Israelites and I say to them, 'The God of your fathers has sent me to you.' And they ask me, 'What's your name?' What is your name? Then what shall I tell them?" God said to Moses, "I am who I am. Ehyeh Asher Ehyeh. I am who I am. This is what you're to say to the Israelites. I am, Ehyeh." And it's the present tense of the verb to be, Ehyeh. I have been sent to you. But that's a little hard to communicate to the Egyptian Pharaoh. And so God says this. God also said to Moses, verse 15, "You say to the Israelites, Yahweh." Now it says Lord in the English translation, but whatever, and we've noted this before, whenever you see Lord in capital letters in the Old Testament, it's Yahweh. It's used some 6,800 times plus in the Hebrew Scriptures. God said to Moses, "You say to the Israelites, Yahweh." And Yahweh is basically the combining of the past, present, and future of the verb to be, the Hebrew verb to be. That's Yahweh. And what he's basically saying is, I am the one who exists. I am the eternal, self-existent one. That's my name. That's what my name is communicating. Yahweh. Say to the Israelites, Yahweh, the God of your fathers, the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, the God of Jacob, has sent me to you. That's what Moses is to tell the Egyptians. This is my name forever. Zeshmi leolam. This is my name forever. The name by which I am to be remembered from generation to generation. V'zeh zikre ledor v'dor. This is from time immemorial. This is my memorial name forever. Yahweh is my name forever. Now this term, as I said, is used multiple times throughout the Old Testament, but it's veiled and suppressed, and we'll talk about why that is the case. It's been suppressed and veiled through the translation of the English word Lord. Now the question comes up as to what is the relationship of Jesus to Yahweh, the I am of the Old Testament. And as we will see, and we're going to spend the next several weeks looking at this, of the various times, and there are many of them, where Jesus refers to himself as I am. In Greek it's ego eimi, ego eimi. But he refers to himself as I am, and in so doing, he is identifying himself with the I am of the Hebrew Scriptures. He is the New Testament manifestation. He is the fleshly, human manifestation of Yahweh. For example, in John chapter 6, verse 35, Jesus says this, I am, ego eimi. I am the bread of life. He who comes to me will never go hungry. He who believes in me will never be thirsty. So he is saying that he is the giver and the sustainer of life. He's bread. He's the very sustenance of life. Without him, we don't live. Spiritually, certainly. He goes on to say, In verse 51, I am the living bread that came down from heaven. If anyone eats this bread, he will live forever. This bread, he says, is my flesh, which I will give for the life of the world. The Jews began to argue sharply among themselves, how can this man give us his flesh to eat? Jesus said this, I tell you the truth, unless you eat the flesh of the Son of Man and drink his blood, you have no life in you. And this is what we do at communion, metaphorically. There is a presence of the bread, in the bread and the wine, of Yeshua, Jesus, who is the I am of the New Testament. Whoever eats my flesh and drinks my blood has eternal life. I'll raise him up at the last day, for my flesh is real food. My flesh is real food, my blood is real drink. Whoever eats my flesh and drinks my blood remains, abides, stays connected with me, and I in him. And just as the living Father sent me, and I live because of the Father, so the one who feeds on me will live because of me. Jesus said, I am. And there are many other indications of that, many other times as he mentioned that. But he is identifying himself without question with the I am of the Hebrew Scriptures. Jesus is the earthly and human manifestation of Yahweh. And when he says, I am, he's saying, that's exactly who he is. He is Yahweh in human flesh. And that's the truth.